Let me welcome you to my channel. Before we begin the video, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and like this post. Placing faith in Alum in anticipation of the release of her new book, People Pleaser. Breaking free from the burden of imaginary expectations, Jinger Duggar Vuolo has returned with an interview. As she makes podcast videos with Jeremy, the 31-year-old is recording her third pregnancy. How Jinger handles cyberbullying is the subject of her most recent interview. Read on to see her remarks. In a recent interview, Jinger discussed the reactions to her first book, Becoming Free Indeed. The former Counting on Star said that she was prepared to take criticism in order to aid the individuals she cared about, and that the book's goal was to expose the destructive doctrines of the IBLP. Jinger did acknowledge that not everyone was supportive of her work, and she went on to remark that even some of her loved ones would be very unkind when they read the book. In the same interview, Jinger addressed the vitriol and how she handles it, particularly in light of her upcoming book release. Getting along with people has always been a difficulty for the Counting on Alum. The impending title centers on her decision to become someone who would delight others as a result of this. Even within the family, I would refrain from trying to annoy anyone, she said. I just want to maintain constant happiness for everyone around me. I don't need to please anyone, Jinger Duggar Vuolo came to learn in due time. In contrast, when no one is looking, things take a sharp turn. Everyone is vulnerable to online harassment, she said. Their comments will be harsh, and they will assume I will do things because they think that's what I should. Jinger maintained that all she wanted to do was share from her heart and inspire others to do the same. Okay, we're not perfect, and I think it's important for everyone to realize that. We shouldn't put on this mask of our ideal selves, but instead, we should be ourselves. A wildfire is raging in California right now, and Jinger Duggar Vuolo is only a few hours away from where she lives. But the former Counting on Star has been quite cautious recently. She just posted a photo on Instagram stories of the evacuation alert that roused them at 3 in the morning. Everyone in their vicinity had been on high alert, but Jinger explained that it had been a false alarm. Jinger Duggar Vuolo is one of the few famous personalities who has dealt with the complicated and often intrusive aspects of fame. She became famous as a member of the Duggar family on the TLC reality shows 19 Kids and Counting On, which followed. Jinger has grown as a person and gained independence as she navigates life away from the cameras. However, the constant barrage of internet hate speech is a darker aspect of public life that comes along with more exposure. Jinger has been quite open about the mental toll that harassment and online bullying have had on her in recent months. Her candor has ignited vital discussions on the demands placed on public people and the increasing need of empathy in virtual communities. Learn more about Jinger's fight against cyberbullying and how she is using her experience to inspire others. Nothing in Jinger Duggar's life has been ordinary. She grew up in front of the camera as a member of a notably big family that was renowned for its strict Christian beliefs and enormous home. With her charming personality, hilarious sense of humor, and fearless attitude, Jinger quickly became a favorite among fans as they followed the Duggar family through life's major moments. Having said that, there are difficulties to living a public life. Jinger was watched very closely from the time she was a little girl. Many people had issue with her love connections, her personal views, and the clothes she wore. As she started to break free of her family's strict expectations and establish her own identity, the burden of continual criticism became too much to bear. A new chapter began in Jinger's life when she decided to marry Jeremy Vuolo, a preacher and former professional soccer player. They took a daring leap of faith by leaving her rural Arkansas home and relocating to Los Angeles together. Some admirers and critics were divided by the couple's relocation since it marked more than simply a change in geography. It also signaled a change in ideals and lifestyle. Audiences' criticism of Jinger grew in intensity when she adopted a more contemporary style, spoke up about her changing religious journey, and wrote a book about how she rebelled against her family's conservative beliefs. Her admirers lauded her bravery and honesty, while her critics pounded her social media accounts with nasty comments. Jinger recently spoke about the mental and emotional toll that being constantly scrutinized by social media takes in an interview. According to her, the one negative comment that sticks with you is more impactful than 100 nice ones. The relentless stream of critical remarks may cover a wide spectrum, from assessments of her parenting decisions to unsolicited views on her physical attributes or religious beliefs. The claim that she was abandoning her family's principles in favor of fame was a particularly painful experience. The reason for people thinking they know everything about you, according to Jinger, is that they saw you grow up on television. But the truth is, most people miss a lot of the other parts of my story. Her mental health has also suffered due to the stresses of internet hatred. In her open discussion of her anxiety, Jinger has described times of crippling self-doubt brought on by constant criticism. I began to doubt my entire existence. Am I an adequate mother, wife, and human being? It can really knock your self-esteem, she said. Regardless all the obstacles, Jinger is determined not to let negativity shape her story. She has instead chosen to see her frailty as a strength. Her online profiles have evolved into places of open contemplation, where she discusses issues of religion, mental health, and self-improvement. For everyone out there who is feeling crushed by other people's judgments, keep in mind that your value is not determined by what others think, Jinger said in a really moving article. Stay authentic and surround yourself with positive influences. Many of her followers have been through tough times, and their encouragement has been a powerful response to her message. Speaking up against cyberbullying is more than just a healing process for Jinger, it's a rallying cry. She now actively promotes the idea of thinking before typing to encourage empathy and compassion in online communities. Her platform now acts as a constant reminder that behind the screens are real people facing their own struggles and weaknesses. Jinger recently spoke on a podcast to talk about how to create a more positive atmosphere on the internet. She stressed that accountability is the first step. Our words have weight, and we must not forget this. A hurtful remark may stay with someone for years, while a kind one can make their day. We can choose kindness. The significance of establishing limits has also been emphasized by Jinger. She stresses the need of minimizing one's exposure to negativity for the mental health of both famous people and regular social media users. Jinger has taken action by carefully selecting positive content for her social media channels and unfollowing harmful profiles. The feeling of belonging Jinger has found on her trip is one of the unanticipated benefits. A varied audience of fans who admire her sincerity has been lured to her openness to tell her tale. A lot of people have thanked her for being honest and have shared their own experiences of surviving cyberbullying and how her remarks helped them. For Jinger, knowing I'm not alone has been a really therapeutic experience. Even in the midst of overwhelming negativity, the generosity of complete strangers has served as a constant reminder that there is abundant good in this world. The story of Jinger Duggar Vuolo's journey shows how strong people can be. Her bravery, honesty, and optimism shine through as she recounts her journey through internet hostility while remaining loyal to her changing ideas and principles. She exemplifies the transformative power of compassion, both sent and received, and the coexistence of progress and grace in the face of hardship. A guiding light in the ever-changing discussion on the effects of social media is Jinger's voice. Her call for compassion serves as a timely reminder that behind every online persona is a real person with emotions, goals, and aspirations. As Jinger may put it, grace abounds in this virtual world we might build if we choose to encourage one another.